My friends, we're afraid to give up the things that make us suffer because we don't think this life will be enough without them. A toxic kind of love, addictions, the worst addictions, and grandiosity. These three things, they were a part of who I was for so long, almost a decade. And I was terrified of giving them up because I felt like they were the things that brought me the most joy and like made life awesome. But in reality, they created this restless kind of dopamine hit for a short period of time and then so much suffering. And an interesting nature of dependence, whether we're dependent on another person, whether we're dependent on a substance, whether we're dependent on an emotional state, we think we give it this God power that we think, oh, this is important in order to feel right. And this is a lack of faith in the true self. This is a lack of faith in the natural state. My friends, the natural state is joyful peace. The natural state is honestly serenity. Like I watch the ducks playing in the water and they're just like so happy, cleaning themselves off. They're full of health, they're full of vitality because they're not dependent on things that are making them suffer unnecessarily. It's an interesting thing about being a human is we're like gifted this consciousness that can think about the future, that can think about the past, and that easily gets attached to things. And it's why so much of like spirituality and religions had to do with attachments, because they realize that we just fall in love with things that make us hurt. Why is that? Like, oh my God, I've hurt myself in the most acute ways. I remember leaving my relationship. I love this woman a lot. She's one of the most brilliant, deep, emotionally raw human beings you ever meet in your life. But it's a toxic kind of love. And our egos just were not a good match for each other. And it created this really bad dynamic. And every single week, it created an enormous emotional turmoil for me. Every single week. But then when I would leave her, all I would do was hurt and miss her and hurt and miss her for so long. And we just like went through this dance for 2 years. And now, a year and a half, 2 years later, after finally clearing that energy from my life, I'm like, wow, I am so much more peaceful. I am so much more happy. I am so much more in tune with the truth of my nature. And the truth of your nature, my friends, is beautiful. The more we can clear out these things that are blocking the authentic expression of our essence, the more magical life becomes. But the thing is we don't believe in that. We lack faith in that. So we hold on to things that make us suffer because, oh, we think that's where our pleasure comes from. It's like, no, that's actually blocking your truest source of pleasure. It's the same thing with addictions. When you come from a place of purity and then it's like, oh, I'm gonna get into drinking. Oh, I'm gonna get into Adderall. Oh, I'm gonna get into smoking weed or whatever it is. It brings you up for a while, but slowly you get dependent on that thing just to get back to baseline. And it's a miserable dance with a dragon. And like, I got that dragon strong inside of me. I got a strong sense of craving because I have this thirst for life, really. That's what it is. It's like, I want this like connection to life and this connection to the profound. And I can get that through substances. And I became dependent on substances. And I was honestly terrified. It took me like 3 years just to get over the fear of letting go of this thing I loved. That's the thing, is like addiction is the same thing as love. They're like the same exact things. Getting over a heroin addict or getting a heroin addiction or getting over a love addiction feels very similar. This is where courage is so freaking powerful because we are afraid to give up the things that make us suffer. We're afraid to give up our crutches. And one act of courage can change your life forever. I once wrote really extensively about this because I was experiencing it. Just one challenge to myself to stop smoking cigarettes for a single day changed my life forever. It led me to stop smoking. One challenge to myself, the courage to let go of someone or something I loved so much. Like these acts of courage, my friends, like make you dig deep into who you are, into having faith in life and having faith in yourself and just saying no and closing your eyes and making the goddamn leap. Like, I don't even know. No one can teach you courage. It's something you got to find inside of yourself. And I hope I can inspire courage in this video because life is beautiful on the other side of that leap, my friends. The interesting thing is the further out of harmony we get with ourselves, the scarier it is to come back into harmony, because there is a dip, there is a descent that must take place. It's almost like when I go out into the desert by myself, I'll have a day of a lot of sorrow and a lot of like pain. But after a week, I come out absolutely glowing. I talked to my old psychology teacher about this. He goes out on this 2-week hiking trip every year. And it's a sufferfest. There's not much food, there's no stimulation, and it takes a couple days to assimilate. But he comes out of it absolutely glowing. And it just shows you that the truth of your nature, your essence, holds your deepest joy and satisfaction and fulfillment in this life. But when we become dependent on things, we externalize our power. So there's this interesting path through life, and I'm not quite sure what it is yet. But it's like, how can you absolutely affirm love, absolutely affirm the profound and peak experiences of life, right, without getting attached to them? Oh, what will life be without this thing? What will life feel like without this pleasure? Oh, I need this crutch to feel okay. I wrote this book, it's called The Psychology of Slaying Dragons, and it's about letting go of the crutches that keep you limping through life. My friends, we limp through life in so many ways. Think about the ways you limp through life, right? And it's because you don't think life will be enough without it. But guess what? You are enough, and life is enough when you actually return to alignment with yourself. And alignment with yourself is hard because it's a healing journey of figuring out what is the right diet for you that makes you feel vital. What is the right job for you that makes you feel vital? What is the right people for you that makes you feel vital? What is the right creative expression for you that makes you feel vital? Like, what is the alignment with your essence? The journey towards your essence is a journey of self-discovery, of introspection, of reflection, of experimentation into the world and seeing what isn't you and seeing what doesn't work. But this is what I'm saying is, like, when we are dependent on something, it's because we are rejecting that journey in some way. My friends, the journey of life, in my eyes, is the journey towards your most glorious state, is the journey towards alignment with your essence and bringing forth your essence. And the more that you are in tune with your true self, with your natural essence, the more beautiful, the more full, the more sustainable and like lasting life becomes. And that's really the message of this video, is dependence is the rejection of the courageous path towards your truth and towards natural thriving. It's possible, my friends. Life is enough without that person or thing. Life is enough without that emotional loop. Life is enough without the things that make you suffer. You don't need to be a slave to anything else in your life, my friends. I've been subjugated to so many things. I've been a slave to so many things in my life because I thought I gave them the God power. Don't give anything the God power anymore, my friends. Just only give, the only thing that you should give the God power to is the God power in your soul. And that's the God power to be joyful here and now, to be in alignment with yourself. That's all I want to say in this video. My name is Christian. If you are a man on a mission or looking for your mission out there, I am rallying the troops, trying to build this men's academy for people who are into personal development, philosophy, and making an impact into this world. If that's you, I encourage you to click the link in the description and schedule a free one-on-one call with me. Would love to have you in the academy. If not, I'll see you at the next video, guys. Make sure to subscribe. Peace.